Hey guys, and welcome back to Bessie Beneath in the Debt-Free Farm Challenge. We are just literally loading up the map. A little late getting prepped for this one. We're going to head back exactly where we left off last stream. That is raking grass, semi-dry grass that we mowed toward the end of last stream. Hey, Here's Workbench. What is up? And I was thinking about this a little bit. Could we collect the grass, dump it in the bin, the silage bunker, and compress it and blanket it? Or could we, in my opinion, take the easy way out and lease the baler and then bale it? What do y'all think? Few people that are here at the start of the stream, you all get to pick course of action. We're gonna get a forage wagon, pick this up, dump it in the bunker, wish it real good, and then blanket it. Means we're gonna have to then bucket it to sell it later. Or are we going to lease a fast bale and bale it, wrap it, and then drop silage bales in the digester when it comes time? Baling is the easier route, and quite frankly, it's the faster route. Got 2 votes for baling it. 3 votes to bale it. Fertilize, harvest. I'm in favor of baling it too because we've got harvest contracts, people. A little late getting prepped for... Hold on, what is wrong? I can't drive tonight. A little late getting prepped. Stream. Because I was getting whooped up playing a first grader in Uno. A hard-fought battle where I learned all sorts of new rules halfway through the gameplay. I do not have collect straw for missions loaded. That seems like it's cheating for such a economy-based challenge as this. It's not against the rules. So if you've got the NASCAR mindset, okay? If it's not explicitly against the rules, then it's kind of implied be not illegal, right? If it's not against the rules, then doesn't mean you can't do it, right? But it just doesn't seem right. Well, before the world went to crap, he would do, after school program where the local parks and rec would would basically watch the kids at school from when the school let out until parents were able to pick them up, or 6 p.m., whichever came first. And they would do all kinds of stuff, play all kinds of games. And I don't know, they made up the weirdest rules there. I think a lot of the games that they played, they made up rules that the gameplay would go by quick. Because you got kids going, you know, a pretty steady flow of kids leaving and everything as parents come pick them up. So you don't want a game that drags on forever. So, yeah. Next thing I know, he lays down like 3 5s. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, you can put down multiple cards if you have the right number. All of different colors. I was like, what? Since when? He's like, that's how we play at Park. I'm like, what? Well, if you'd have told me that to start. So he put down like 3 skips. And it doesn't skip 3 people consecutively. It skips me for 3 turns. Like, what? Yeah, so 3 whole turns. I can't do anything. Meanwhile, him and his mother play. Okay, I got him back because I stacked up some draw 2s. He didn't like that. Kids like it. Kids like to play it. You know, it's an easy game for them to pick up for the most part. Hey, they pick up on the strategy pretty darn quick. Hey Darren, what's up? JT the farmer, how you doing? Preston, we are definitely going to bail it. Thanks for the vote. So let's see here, wheat, cola. I'm going to grab that contract before it goes away. Alright, let's get on with the fast bale. Now, last time we did this, I think we got around 39 bales. So it'll be interesting to see if we get about that many. So today, major mod dropped for console players. Not so major for PC players, but apparently it is the bee's knees console players. Apparently, there is a placeable that dropped in the mod hub that will let console players auto-load bales into a building. And as a byproduct, it seems to allow you to go over console 200 bale limit. But performance does seem to take a hit. So, kind of buyer beware, if you will. But that is pretty cool. Seems to be using the same general principle as the auto-loading trailers that work on console. So I'm wondering if building is just not set up as a huge trailer. Placeable trailer, if you will. I've said for a long time it would be awesome if the GTX bale storage mods could make their way into console. Kind of like Raw Harvest has scripts. It made its way into console. Seasons is obviously all script. It made its way into console. So if his bale script storage mod could make its way into console, it would be epic, because when those bales are stored, they don't actually exist. They're ethereal bales, which would cause them not to count towards your bale limit because they don't exist until you unload them. So this mod kind of does that, but they do exist. So performance does seem to be affected when you get close to them. I tend to ignore anything auto load in the mod hub because it just tends to act weird and be weird. I'm not a fan of anything that is like auto load that is very specific. Like you have to buy an auto load trailer for square bales versus an auto load round bale trailer, or an auto load pallet trailer. Hey, Double K Ranch, what is up tonight? I feel we're doing pretty darn good with this debt-free challenge. Now, yeah, sure, it is the coolest thing ever. Especially if it does those little small bales. Plenty of grass to go around on this map for sure. I can just imagine when this mass bale is no longer locked up in DRM, or when the John Deere cotton baler is no longer locked up in DRM, because they both use the same principle. Both have this pre-chamber, then they transfer their contents to second chamber to then finish out the bale. See what kind of stuff people can make once they see how it's working. Right now, both of those are locked up in DLC DRM, but when the next game comes out, folks will be able to go into the editor and basically export them as a mod and pick them apart, see how they're doing it, and who knows what kind of creations folks will be able to make. That one. Move on to the second field. I'd like to be able to buy this. How much is this land? $153,000 to buy a piece of land here. Piece of land right behind it. Below it is $102,000. Man, land is expensive here on Bessie beneath. That up here a bit. What I'd like to see is a square baler wrapper combo. That would be cool. Anyone know if there's such a thing in real life? A square baler that wraps in line. Cat Dragon, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the mods today? I don't know what you mean by building that's a workshop as well as a garage. Okay, for today's mod drops. Looked like there was a couple decent buildings out there with some good details to them. And I have to say, in all honesty, I'm a bit mod underwhelmed as of late. Not that I'm not grateful for folks that people are making things and everything. It's just seeing stuff in the mod hub and looking at it and it's like, oh, okay. Almost 2 fields done. We had the other day the oddly named Straw Me mod. And the Straw Me mod apparently has the ability to add corn straw, soybean straw, and canola straw, rape straw, depending on how you say it, to any map. Now, we've seen maps that have corn straw. We've seen maps that have soybean straw. I don't know if we've necessarily seen any maps that had canola straw. Just a little weirdly named. Straw Me. Anyone else seen that and given it a try? Yeah, I haven't given it a try. That's because the only 2 maps that I've been playing recently have been this and South Island Farm. Neither really have a call for any of that, and I'm pretty sure South Island Farm has corn straw already in it. Well, I think it depends on what iteration of Bucks County you have or had. I know at some point in time he had pulled out some of the additional crop types that were in the map. Yeah, wish there was a way to update the height type limit dynamically, as opposed to having it need to be set within the map itself. Because as mods come out that make these changes, add these different fill types, plus the map has had some forethought to have some room in there for additional fill types and run up against the limit fairly quick. I think even with just seasons fill types it adds, you're probably within 2 or 3 of the base game limit already. It might have had soybean straw, I don't know. My time on the map we didn't plant soybeans because we were playing as a sheep farmer that was really mostly concerned with clover. And then I planted, the version I had carrots and onions and black beans. So one year we planted carrots, onions, and black beans. Next year we planted oats, carrots, and onions, and it had red cabbage and green cabbage also. We basically planted the vegetables for the purpose of kind of providing them to the local farmer market, regional fresh produce. These bales will be ready afternoon of first day of mid-autumn. So we'll be able to process these bales at the digester then. Honestly, I plan on just leaving them out here in the field and picking them up off the field and just taking them straight to the digester. I don't see much need to transport them anywhere. Now, I've never seen anybody or heard of anybody making soybean straw. I have heard of someone cutting green soybeans for soybean hay. I've never heard of, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I've never heard of someone running beans through a harvester and having the stalk and the plant matter stay intact to the point where it can be baled. Again, it's not saying that it's not possible, it's just not something I've seen or heard of. The pretense for the soybean hay was that the farmer had a pretty weak hay crop for the year due to weather, and they were also having some pretty bad soybean yields. Beans really weren't growing that great, so this was that he was probably going to be able to, he might be able to make better use of soybeans by cutting them when they were still green, laying them down on the ground, mower, letting them dry, and then baling them. And they baled it at night because the moisture would rise at night enough to keep the plant and the leaves mostly intact as they go through the baler, but they weren't picking up too much moisture to be problematic. Thought that was kind of interesting. Alright, so I don't think we're going to have enough for another bale. Maybe we'll try to pick up some scraps. I don't think we're going to have it. $1,500 liters of scraps. We're not going to have enough. I'm not going to bother with it. See how many bales we have made. 43. Made a total of 82 bales. Yeah, that jives with 39. So we got a few extra this time around. Hey Bradley, what's up? Arizona Cardinals are a different Cardinal. Oh wait, Arizona Cardinal, that's... Look at that. Cardinals, baseball? Tuesday, they wouldn't be... Football wouldn't be playing. Too early for football too, isn't it? Maybe it's not. Hey, big UK, hey, big farm UK. What is up? Oh, St. Louis Cardinals. Okay. Are they still putting the fake fans in the stands? Yep, Diamondbacks baseball team. Yeah, I haven't followed baseball for a very, very long time. Very long time. All right. Turned in. 0.4 hours to make 43 silage bales is not a bad time. Thank goodness. Header, trailer combo. Right, where is this field? Field 89. Oh, 27 is bigger. Fertilizing. 89. That should pay out some good money for the extra crop. We did a harvest contract last Tuesday, I think. Maybe it was last Thursday. Basically, we earned a lot of money, bought the biogas plant, and then decided we were going to make silage for the biogas plant. It looked like if we got the same amount of bales that we got off the first cut, we would make about $23,000 off of our grass. We've got enough grass to hold our cows for the year. So why leave that grass just lying about? Hey, Kendall, what's up? Yeah, just to catch you up. There we go. We own a farm, 3 grass fields, and now the biogas plant. I'd like to earn enough money to buy 57 or 75. Kind of continue our grass ownership. I think this is our field. it's fixed. It should be 150. Yeah, 150. Pretty much fixed. I'm gonna carve this off. Can't fail it, so why leave it as windrows? We're on hard. Part of the debt-free farm challenge requirement is to be on hard. I think the last time I really followed baseball with any consistency was way back during the Cal Ripken streak days. In fact, me and the wife, we watched. I had the privilege of being in the stadium, I think for one of Cal Ripken's last home games before he retired. So that was, well, just say decades ago, to be nice about it. Yeah, mileage drops a lot. A lot of content creators often play on normal or, heaven forbid, easy, because it's more entertaining, they say, with the money rolling in constantly. It does allow them to swap out vehicles and implements almost at will, which for me kind of negates the whole purpose of playing. You know, a real farmer isn't going to be able to swap out his equipment at will, so you got to do with what you've got. It's nice having a little bit of an economic outlet if you need the cash injection, but you know, knowing that if you can, it's pretty easy to get 100 grand, go out and harvest one field, it loses its interest. $12 hours a day. Now, can we get to the end of the field before we fill up? That is the question. Looking to see. This harvester does not have a display on it. One I was in the other day did have a display. And we talked about how cool it would be if the screen was a live camera. Oh, what's the latest on the Apple Epic? Who's got the bigger set of garbanzo beans, if you will? Yeah, the headers. Hedges are magical. Can't go anywhere. The header. Oh, I can back up and then... Oh, I'm stuck. What state is that? That's a shutdown state. I think if folks would quit buying into the Apple socialistic regime, then they wouldn't have much to stand on. And it's always been the Apple way or the Apple way. You use the Apple product how Apple thinks you should use it. Oh, I left that running. Well, you'll always have a choice. Say, I'll never own an Apple device. Where at least Google has a semi-open platform where folks don't have to use the Android store, Google Android store. They could use a third-party Android store. They can load applications if they know how to do it. Apple, no. You must get it through the Apple Store. Done. No soup for you. Well, genetic, everybody does that. Apple does that. Trust me. They do it under the guise of so that we can design products to better suit your way of doing things. Hey, Declan, what's up? Oh, what are they doing, Cat Dragon? No, I'm not keeping any crops. I'm going to sell them all. I don't have a silo. I don't have any place to put them. I don't have any need for them. I'd say Cat Dragon depends on how they implement it. Hey, Grizz, what's up? Here in Virginia, I was part of a beta test program for state's tracing app. Mostly volunteered to test it so I could get a good understanding of how it worked, and I get a very deep understanding of how it was functioning. And overall, the way the way the state has implemented it, it's not really Big Brother, period. And if other states, Michigan, have implemented it in a similar fashion, then it's not so much contact tracing as much as contact reporting. So tracing, I think, is a bad description of at least how the state of Virginia has implemented their app. And if lots of other states have implemented it in the same way, again, I think contact tracing is a bad description. So the way it's implemented in Virginia is it's basically using the underlying protocols that Google and Apple developed, okay, because those are the two big mobile platforms, right? If you have something that's runs on Google or Apple products, you pretty much cover 99% of the populace. And the way those protocols work is your phone basically is sending out a Bluetooth beacon. Okay? And the Bluetooth beacon is basically just broadcasting a ever-changing coded sequence of numbers. Okay? I don't know how long it is. Let's pretend it's a 15-digit number. And every 20 minutes, that 15-digit number changes. Okay? And then you, another person, okay, that has this app, basically comes within, quote, range of you. So Bluetooth range by its nature is short range. And then they're doing some sort of signal loss prediction to predict when two Bluetooth devices are within 6 feet or closer. So if you have the Bluetooth beacon signal is too low of a signal level, then your app will just kind of ignore it. If the Bluetooth beacon has a high enough signal level and you're within that signal level for a duration, 15 minutes in the case of the Virginia app, then it basically will log that 15-digit code basically in your phone. Okay? And then a couple times a day, your phone will phone home to a central database and download. Okay, it's not uploading anything. It's downloading. Declan, stop or you're going. So your phone will then download a registry of individuals who have reported a positive result through the Virginia Department of Health. And then it will compare that downloaded database of codes to the codes that it's been in contact with. And if one of those codes matches a code that your phone has been in contact with, then it displays a message on your phone saying you may have been exposed because you were within range, 6 feet, for a duration, 15 minutes, which apparently the CDC has said, 6 feet, 15 minutes. So you may have been exposed, and therefore you may wish to seek further advice, medical advice. So let's say, now let's flip that. So I've got the app. I've had the app for weeks. Okay, I'm walking around. I'm I'm interacting with things, people, whatever, I get sick. Okay, so I go, I get tested. Let's say I have a positive result. Okay, I get contacted by the health department, and basically then advised, hey, if you have this app, okay, then you need to report a result, positive result. And they give you a PIN number. You can't report a positive result without a PIN number. So the Virginia Department of Health will give me a PIN to go into the app and report a positive result. So then I report the positive result, and what it does is the app then uploads basically the numbers it's used over the last 2 weeks to the repository. It doesn't know who I am. It just gets a whole list of numbers and adds it to the positive result database. Then other people download later, and their devices then compare their local database of what apps they've been in contact with the last 2 weeks, the database that it downloaded. And if it comes up with a match, then it reports to you on screen you may have been exposed. So there's really not a lot of tracing there. They're not tracing your activity. They're not seeing where you've been at any point in time. No GPS information stored. It's just that 15-digit code. I'm just making that digit up. 15-digit code and a time date stamp as to when that was, and information as far as signal strength and duration. Grizz, I don't think you want that. Next thing, there will be a crime, and cops will show up to your door saying, well, you were in the vicinity of the crime when the crime occurred, so you're a prime suspect. That's all good. I can't spell worth a darn either. Now at work, we haven't implemented it, but our wireless system could do a much more invasive tracing by basically following people's registered wireless devices around. And in that case, we would very well know the actual names of individuals that were at least associated with the same wireless device as others. And we've done it in the past before for police, is basically trace a device around campus to inform them of an individual's activities. So that is tracing. No hands down about it. But the way Virginia has implemented their app, it's more of contact reporting. So at no point in time does anyone in the state of Virginia know that I've been to, XYZ. They have no idea that I went to, a particular fast food restaurant for lunch. They don't know that I stopped at a particular gas station last week to get fuel. But what they do know is if I would become sick and I report a positive result, they'll have a set of codes from a device that's had a positive result. But yeah, Grizz, that's modern digital life. bank will call you. Your bank will deny a charge if you have what's called an impossible travel situation, or what they think might be an impossible travel situation. So, like, let's say you gas your car up in Michigan, and then you drive to an airport, and you jump on an airplane, and you fly to Florida, and as soon as you get off the airplane, you get a rental car, and that rental car doesn't have any fuel. So then you buy a tank, then you refuel the rental car in Florida. Just a few hours after you charged fuel in Michigan, your bank will probably deny the fuel in Florida because they'll say that you've had an impossible travel situation where there's no way you could have went from Michigan to Florida in that time frame to buy fuel. Or another scenario is you have a transaction in one state, and then 20 minutes later you have another transaction in another state. That's pretty indicative of potential fraud. So they'll block that second charge pretty quick. That's just using some machine learning, flagging charges, going this doesn't seem possible. Hey GTX, what's up? So where are we at? 51%. Probably going to be able to put this. I don't know if we're going to be able to put this whole load in that trailer or not. Yeah, apparently what we learned was one of the golden rules of flagging transactions is if you buy fuel and then you buy sneakers. So if you have a fuel purchase and then you have, like, you go to a Foot Locker and you buy a pair of sneakers, those two purchases can be kind of suspicious because I guess some of the main fraud charges are fuel and sneakers, athletic wear. We've had our bank denied charges for the same amount from the same location over a short time period, which is kind of a double charge protection. So, like, let's say you're at a grocery store or let's just say anywhere, you buy product A, and for whatever reason you want to buy it twice. But you don't want to charge it at the same, you want two transactions, okay, for whatever reason. Let's pretend you're buying one for yourself and one for someone else, and they're going to pay you back, so you decide, well, let me just have two receipts, okay? Because then you can just show the person, okay, here's the receipt, here's the tax, just pay me that much. Well, the bank will deny the second charge because it's too soon after the first, and they think it's just a double transaction. GTX, your magical pig food mixer will show up next Friday over on South Island Farm. I just recorded that video tonight. Works perfectly, as I know you would know it would. Did you see the bale building that showed up for a console today? An auto-loading bale storage for consoles. Hey, Captain Jack, what's up? Oh, back up. So what's social credit score? All right, where does this thing go? Through it. Oh, you know what? I was about to. I was about to right-click and try to do a waypoint like SnowRunner. Well, Bradley, I was a little concerned when I watched this video. I could see some serious lag on that round bale building. Deal with these roads wobbling all over. Somehow it's letting you have more than 200 bales for sure, but they're not so ethereal in nature. Still seem to physically exist. Oh, slow down. Are you kidding me? Oh. Oh, wait. We're smarter than the average bear. The map author did not put a fence around the back. Oh, this truck is awful. I don't like these trucks. Hey, Forrest, what's up? Not flip out with a collision. So if he really wanted to keep us out of here, he'd have put a fence there. All I have to say about that. Yeah, that's what I thought. He set the building up as a trailer. An enterable trailer, you know, that you enter it to then do the controls. It was shown that you could like pick up, you know, different types of round bales, but you can't really eject the bale you want. So if you have a mix of different types of round bales, you can only get to the bales that are at the front of the building. When you unload the bales on the ground, which means you then have up to 300 bales physically being rendered and physics applied to. So yeah, when I saw that the performance was really taking a hit there, I was like, yeah, they're not ethereal bales when they're stacked. Like if they were being held in a script. So I'm worried. I think some console folks will really get themselves in trouble. Don't those trailers usually have a problem if you leave them loaded and you leave the game? Of course, what are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the sales point. I read your comment and I'm like, what? Doesn't make sense. Oh, okay. I don't use that type. I've actually stopped using auto load in lieu of just the Anderson trailers. They seem to work just fine. Yeah, when I saw it, I downloaded it and looked at it. I'm like, okay, there's no script in there. So they must be working the same way as those auto load trailers. Yeah, I don't, oh, we don't, what? Oh no, it's animals. This trailer, I'm not a big fan of this trailer, or trailers like it, stack vertically, because I find that the top of the stack is often too tall, really, to conveniently get down with anything. That's why I really like when the Anderson trailers came out that unload horizontally along the ground. One, they kind of look like the bale stacks, the bale rows. Not so much stacks, the bale rows that I see in my travels. You know, I occasionally see the big pole barn with round bales stacked in the pole barn. But usually I just see rows of bales parked along fence lines are setting along a line of, you know, forest, trees, or woods, whatever you want to call it, along the edge of a field. I get that sense that where those Andersons unload, kind of like that. Oh, the square container, or the one that, like, well, it said auto-loaded pallets. Didn't really look like it auto-loaded pallets. It looked more like it was set up where it just transferred the contents from the ground pallet to a visual pallet on the trailer. The trailer was really just storing a quantity. Because I'm guessing then when you unload the trailer, I don't know if it just spews a whole bunch of pallets out, or if it would spawn one and fill it, and then spawn another one and fill it. Yeah, I'd say just a good general practice would be to unload anything that's auto load. Unload it before you exit the game. I think there's been instances where things that were loaded either vanish when you come back in, or they explode, go all over the place. So it's like it's top heavy. Maybe because it's 50,000 liters, it's too much weight, too high up. On the PC side, it's something that can rear its ugly head when you have a mod. Let's say you take this harvester and you mod it so it holds 500,000 liters of a product. Well, all that product has a weight. And that weight can really affect the handling of the vehicle. Oh, and it's empty. Maybe the trailer itself has a high weight. Because the trailer itself would have a mass in the mod. Tell the game engine, you know, what does this weigh? And then the game engine can try to, yeah, put some level of physics on it. We've seen oddities happen with mods before. I've seen mods where, like a tractor, if you turn a really tight turn quickly, the inside wheel will lift up off the ground. Or sometimes the outside wheel will lift up off the ground and you're like, no, it shouldn't be doing that. So when I'm going really quick around a tight corner, the tractor shouldn't be leaning into the turn. Maybe it's got a collision issue. Hard to say. His workbench knows what's going on. He's made enough vehicles. Right, let's go see how much money we earn in extra. 98% of the contract's finished. Well, I mean, really isn't a standard IT runner truck, right? And there's a Giants IT runner trailer, which I guess we could say could be the standard IT runner trailer. It really isn't a Giants provided IT runner truck. So you can really run into weird issues when you have one mod that requires or uses other mods' function as to how well any one of those given mods or a combination of those mods end up interacting. Alright, we should probably brake way back here. Stand on the brake pedal. So this truck, I just know you gotta brake super early. All right, we're at 35,600. So $10,100 of extra income on top of $6,500. Ding. Oh, we got a little smaller equipment this time. Oh, blessed me. Evil trailer. Blessed me. Where are we going? Can we get away with not using the trailer? Probably not. Bradley, I'm probably not going to buy a silo. I'm probably not really going to be doing any arable work for my own. Probably just have the beef cattle. At that point, all I'm really concerned about is grass. The only real crops I'm going to have are going to be grass for my own self. That's just expanding the grass. Buy more fields to support more cows. So far this trailer has worked well because I put the header fairly far back. Yeah, I like this grass. Got the little yellow flowers in there. We're gonna do this. Now what I think you really should have done was have more area here where you enter the field to position your harvester or position your equipment. Yeah, especially with these these hedge collisions, not allowing headers through. You know, I really can't stage this trailer outside the field because I can't get this header, you know, through. I can't put the trailer over there in that field and then basically drive it through the hedge. Got to bring it through the gate. The only way I'm going to get it through the gate is if I have it on a trailer. Then once I get it on a trailer into here, there really isn't any place to maneuver without getting into the field. So having a nice cutout, having a nice area here, maybe a nice half moon about this far, which will allow you to come in with a big vehicle and turn and get position to put a header in, or you know, bring a truck in and get it positioned Yeah, I need that header that folds, right? There's a grain header that folds up like the corn header. This same spot, paying out $5,200. We're not going to get all of that because we borrowed the equipment. But hopefully we'll get more than that in extra profit from the extra crop. I don't know. We were talking about that straw me mod. What's your name? The straw me mod earlier. The ability to do canola. Straw. I mean, I see this plant. This plant looks like it's just a whole bunch of needles. I don't know if I want to be handling canola straw. I think I'd come out like I went 5 rounds with a razor blade. Kind of like if you, kind of like when you put in alfalfa hay bales. That is some pokey, scratchy, rough stuff. Yeah, I've seen them bale corn fodder. You know, just looking at the plant here, the way it's done, looks awful needly. I don't know, maybe, you know, why. To understand that in real life, like this plant, like they kind of interweave and make this big mat. That's why you need the vertical cutter. Basically cut the plants, you know, above ground runners, if you will. Any lights on? Lights on. Let's go to tomorrow morning. Not so dark. $77.22. I'm going to use my 7726. Hey, buddy. You okay with that? Got 18.8 hours on this tractor. So I saw the map 6 Ashes is back in console testing. I heard that map got rejected and had advertising for an alcoholic beverage on a poster somewhere. So it looks like maybe that poster was taken down, if you will, and the map resubmitted. So we may be seeing 6 Ashes get released this week. Maybe as early as tomorrow. Who knows? Anyone had any news related to that map? I haven't seen anything related to, well, one of the most controversial maps since Walker Farms. Haven't heard anything about that map getting released on console yet. Nope, we didn't have no moisture problems. I'd heard, not direct from, I don't even know who the map author is. So I don't think it was direct from the map author, but I had heard and seen an image of a poster advertising a alcoholic beverage. And I guess in keeping with their game rating, no such advertisements are permitted. Welcome back to the land of the awake, Harrison. Sorry that I'm either that boring or just that darn relaxing. So the message, the person that was posting the message about 6 Ashes being kicked back was more or less making a comment that in their opinion, a map that's perfectly fine gameplay wise would get rejected because of a poster on the side of a building, whereas other maps that have been recently released have had clear gameplay problems. So I think that was their frustration. But yeah, I get you. I get it. I get you, Grizz, and that's why I am really hoping we don't see ads in the upcoming Alpine expansion map. I went on a little tirade about that about a month ago when they had some gameplay footage shown off the map, and there was a billboard for a game server hosting company on the map. And I didn't see the gameplay footage where they were demonstrating the vehicles, but what I'm told is there were other advertisements for other companies like Rydell, which is, you know, like a modeling, right? Rydell, isn't that a company that makes like model cars and things? And that really got me concerned from the possible in-game commercialization. And then today I read a article about a game. I forget the name. Get the name of the game, but basically it had a whole bunch of advertisements, commercial advertisements. It was, I don't remember the name of the game, but it basically was, it was like a fighting game. It was like a what's that arena fight kickboxing thing? It was like an arena octagon game where you fight opponents, and like between matches they would play like YouTube ads, like as if you were watching it on TV. And it's like, okay, well, between this round, here's an ad. And basically gamers, reviewers, all kinds of people like revolted, and it's like, WTF on this? And they claim they were going to take it out, but it was like these ads were being downloaded, you know, and being inserted live. They weren't baked in. So, I mean, that's kind of where you can go to the extreme. And some folks commented back, you know, well, if it was a John Deere ad or whatever, you wouldn't have a problem with it. And it's like, actually, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have a problem with it if it was a John Deere ad, because it would be within the scope of the game, and it would be an ad, in theory, that one would kind of expect. Okay? But to see a blatant commercialization of an ad that has nothing to do with the game, nothing to do with gameplay. It's not like you would be driving through town and see a billboard for the local vehicle dealer, and, you know, this new piece of machinery or this new brand that the dealer was offering. Just, you know, you're driving through town and you see an ad for, you know, insert name of product here, Pillsbury Doughboy cookies or something. Marcus, if you plan on submitting your mod to Giants, you need to go to the Giants Mod Hub and basically register. And when you register your account, my understanding is there's going to be guidelines there. Okay, the boys, that was it. Was some YouTube or Netflix show. Oh, I figured, Darren, you can click on, I figured out you can click on ads. Not like click on the ad, but there's like a little 3 dots next to an ad. So whenever I see an ad I don't like, I click on it and I say it's inappropriate. So if you just say every ad is inappropriate, because your general stance on the fact that ads in general are inappropriate. I think political ads are offensive. So yeah, then I read an article where the folks, the developers for Cyberpunk 2077 are stating that there will definitely be microtransactions in the game. 100% guaranteed. But they're not going to be annoying to the player. They're gonna add value to the gameplay. These microtransactions. It's like, what? You want me to pay? Pay to play the game, then you want me to pay to play the game more. So I get paid. I get microtransactions on free-to-play stuff, right? World of Warships, World of Tanks, World of Aircrafts, whatever. You know, they're all free-to-play. Well, you know, these people don't work for free, right? They gotta have money. They gotta be paid. So I can see microtransactions in free-to-play games. But if I've already shelled out $60, and then you want to hit me every so often with, well, for 99 cents you can have this, or $1.99 will get you this. How about we say you can watch the first 3 innings of your baseball game for free, but if you want to watch innings 4 through 7, you need to pay $1.99, and if you want to watch innings 8 and 9, you got to pay another $1.99, and if the game goes into extra innings, you got to pay 99 cents per inning. Like, what? Now, I really, really hope we don't see ads in the Alpine expansion. For commercial products. I mean, if you see a billboard around town that's advertising, you know, whatever that new brand is that's in the game. You know, let's say you see a billboard for that electric tractor. The problem with that. That's oh, great. What's going on here? That is, you know, providing a immersive, realistic experience. But if I see an ad for, let's say, Big League Chew, which is cheap American bubble gum that comes in a giant pouch. Like, what's that got to do with Farm Sim? So apparently this electric tractor, I hear, is going to take 10 minutes to charge. Guys put out a FAQ about the expansion, and I read that, I think, in there. They were saying that the charge time on the electric tractor was 10 minutes. So I was curious if that was 10 in-game minutes or 10 real-life minutes. I think if it's 10 in real-life minutes, well, generation, I don't have time for that, would probably just flip their head. What do y'all think? Would it be, you think it's going to be 10 game minutes or 10 real minutes? Venture, that's what I thought. I thought, when you look at these things, it's like, no thank you, I don't want to walk through that. That looks like worse than walking through a whole bunch of thistle. That'd be like trying to walk through a maze of rose bushes. Well, I mean, the game keeps track of both, right? So this tractor, this harvester, has got 31.8 hours of pretend real time. Okay, our tractor over there has 18.8 hours of real time. So, and when you look at your time, here in the garage, this has 5 hours of real time, real game time, real time. Of course, we have a game clock where we can speed up or slow down time. I mean, it's like canola. Well, it's the only crop where we have these cutters on the side. And the way I understood it is these cutters are cutting plants because I guess do the plants like grow and intertwine amongst each other? So to harvest them, you almost have to cut through them. Because if you don't, you'll just have this nasty mess of ripping plants up out of the ground or stuff. Or were they ready to harvest, or were they still growing? Because you know, when they're still growing, they look like lush green, a field of lush green and yellow. When they get ready to harvest, they turn to this straw color of sticks. I think I have seen a mod though that does change how hours work, so like it puts engine hours just like game hours. So for every game hour is an hour on the engine. So I don't know. I know I don't like growing up. Growing up we had raspberries, red and black raspberry patch, and that was definitely something you wore pants on, jeans, when you were going through picking berries, because those darn things had prickles. And then as the years went by, those bushes got a lot bigger, and those thorns got a lot harder and bigger. Oh, we're full. And then it became, you know, something like you couldn't really get the berries way far back in there because you'd come out all bloody. Like this long drive. I was looking to buy this pig farm for the debt-free challenge, but I decided against it because it was just a little bit too expensive. Because we were only starting with $500,000. We're starting with $1.25 million, then it probably would have bought the pig farm in order to do, you know, a pretty expensive animal up front because of the number of, you know, the need for the 3 different types of feed to get, you know, the best productivity out of them. But pig farm was, yeah, almost $100,000 before you get fields. Over here we were $71,000. Halfway transported. That's good to see. No, I don't have a video on loans in seasons. Didn't really figure it was that much different. Did it change the interest percentage? I mean, usually I really don't take out loans very often. And that's one reason why I didn't figure this debt-free challenge was going to be all that hard. Because usually I don't take out a lot of loans. So I usually play fairly within the means of the game economy. Alright guys, so that is where we're going to call it for the night. I've got to work in the morning. And it is a little after 11 my side. So I'm going to be up in like 7 hours. So if I want to be anything but cranky, just a cranky pot, I'm going to need to hit the head. So we'll be back on this map on Thursday. I don't plan on doing any live streams tomorrow. Tomorrow night, hopefully, we'll be making some content. Tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, right at noon Eastern Time, there will be another South Island Farm video drop because it will be Wednesday. Thursday morning, we're going to have a no runner drop. Thursday at noon, we're going to have a ATS drop. And just this last weekend, we reunited our gameplay with Formula 1 2020 with the Azerbaijan, tough one to say, race. I've already done the Canada race, which is round 9. That's going to drop on Saturday. All kinds of content coming into the channel this week. So keep an eye out for all of that. Until next time, happy farming.